Hi FlossTube Stitchers. Today is Sunday, April 30th, which means I've made it through the month unscathed. No difficult, stressful days, no bad news, no tragedies. And it was also my birthday month, so I was very grateful that the month went smoothly. So I've broken my streak. It's no longer one bad news per month. April went by with nothing but fun times and sweet birthday messages and a few surprise gifts here and there. On my birthday, my husband made a southwestern spaghetti casserole. It was a new recipe. And he served it with heirloom cherry tomatoes and an avocado. So it seemed super healthy as well. And he bought me the new caramel cold brew M&Ms, chocolate covered Oreos, which he knows are only for me. So he bought himself another pack of a different kind. And what else? Oh, a box of dark chocolates. So he knows me well. I can be bought with food. So that was really fun. And then I got a most generous gift of a light box to use at my shop by my friend Heather. So I'm going to put a little video at the end showing the pieces, parts to the studio. Okay, I'm going to start with a new shop model just to get it out of the way. This is from Bonnie, our custom framer, and she loves the tiny towns. So this is Christmas Tiny Town. Let's see, if I hold it like that, there's not too much glare. There is glass on this. She did a beautiful job with the interesting mats, and she didn't remember exactly what the fabric was, but to me it looks like Ancient from Picture This Plus, and it's a 32 count, which has shrunk a little bit to maybe measure out 34. And she used one strand like she always does, and it's just beautiful. So that's that. We'll enjoy having that as a model for a while. Well, actually forever, because she's like me. All her good stuff is here. We never have our house fully decorated at home. So that's that. And then I'm going to move on to my whips. The first one is something that I started on April 4th. I decided I was going to try to participate in hashtag Flags on the 4th that Primrose Cottage Stitches started. And I had found this when I was straightening up the closet in my craft room. I was actually looking for something else. It's from 2003. Oh my goodness, why did I never stitch this? I'm positive that this came from a retreat. The pattern is by You and I and Friends. And they sold their company a while back. They sold the cross stitch part of it to Ruth at Twisted Threads. So the charts are still available, and I just got an order recently, so they come like that. Now this came as a kit with the fabric and the thread, and the fabric is 40 count sandstone from Witchelt. And I just thought this was the perfect thing to start that day because it was fairly small. I knew it would probably just take me like less than a week to stitch it. So I've worked on it, I think 3 days. The first day I did the house, and the second day I did, maybe I only worked on it, oh yeah, the second day I did the year, and it actually fit in perfectly where the original year was. Obviously I only had to change one number, and I just had to adjust the spacing in my head. I didn't even graph it out. It just was going to work perfectly. So this was the best year to start this because I didn't have to fuss too much. All the numbers were there that I needed to use. So I think I did the year, and maybe I started the lady, and then the third day I worked on this little, I don't know, it looks like a trellis or something. So I'm enjoying working on that. I'm working on it with my glasses on. I used to say that I had to do it without my glasses on because I have perfect vision up close. My prescription is almost a year old. So maybe I usually get a new prescription every 2 years. So maybe it's towards the end of the 2 years that I have difficulty, but right now I can still watch TV and work on it with my glasses on at the same time. So I'm having fun with that. It's called Liberty House by You and I and Friends. Then the other thing that I got out was something I had started in May of 2019 as part of Mania. And it's called, is the name not on the front? Yeah, it's called And the Earth Sang. And I think when I posted it on social media, I didn't realize that the name wasn't showing on the chart, and I had forgotten to put that. But anyway, I did a good portion of it. I did almost all of the lettering, so I just have the solid part down here to fill in. So that'll just be a couple more days probably. And I think the first year that I did it, I only got like 1 row of words done. And this year I worked on it 2 or 3 more days. I put in He is Risen on Easter Sunday. And it calls for Weeks Dye Works basil, however you want to pronounce it. And I think I had a full skein, but for some reason I got really nervous that I was going to need 2 skeins. And the new skeins don't match. And let's see, I think I started with an older skein a couple years ago. So the newer skeins didn't match. So I started doing random letters and words in the new skein, and you can't even tell. So I wasn't worried at all about it not matching after I got going. But I left the name Jesus just in case I really did run out or it looked horrible and the 2 dye lots, didn't look good next to each other, because I thought maybe I would put some random words in a solid color. So actually I did everything perfectly and still have thread left over. And I decided I liked my idea of doing it in different colors. So I auditioned a couple colors. This is Mulberry from Weeks Dye Works, and I think I'm going to do the name Jesus in Mulberry because it goes with the lavenderish look to the basil. And then the purple color seems regal, kingly, seems appropriate. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm pretty sure this is 30 count Confederate gray. I can't find my paper. I know I'll find it someplace because I always save the paper that I write out the information on. So I'll probably find it someplace, but it looks like it matches up to Confederate gray. When I went back to look at my original post in 2019, I think Facebook would not show me what I wrote. It only showed me the picture. It wouldn't show me what I wrote or what anybody's comments were when I went into the business section, the business suite. And then Instagram, that day, I felt like Instagram must have removed the post because I could not find it. And I thought, was the religious nature of my post offensive to somebody? So I was kind of annoyed by that. But anyway, Confederate gray looks good. And I knew it was Weeks Dye Works. And then I'm using the suggested colors. Alrighty. Then I had some finishes. I'm going to go in, let's see. I'll go in alphabetical order of designer because that's how I have it here. So this is Be Happy from Cottage Garden Samplings. And the photo looks like it's done on pale blue, and it kind of looks over-dyed. I thought maybe it was Vintage Blue Whisper, but it's not. It's antique white. So I learned that it is sometimes hard to photograph even white fabric so it looks white or antique white. So I did post this the other day, and it took me a couple tries in the light box, but I got it, to look really good. So I feel the designer's pain when they're trying to take photographs. So I did it on the 36 count that she called for with all of the DMC colors. I'm just so enchanted by the blue wings that although I liked the idea of stitching the design on Vintage Blue Whisper, I didn't want to have to change the wings, and I just think they're so cute. So the other day, yesterday, I guess my framer and I chose a frame combination for this, but I didn't send it with her because I wanted to show it today. So that's that. I love her designs. Then, remember when I was trying to decide what to put at the bottom of JBW Designs French Country Pineapple, and one of the comments on the video was from Susie Clevenger, and she suggested that I look up how to say welcome in Hawaiian, because I was only talking about the word pineapple. And anyway, I looked it up, and it's Walina, but that's also a greeting of affection, like what was similar to aloha. So I thought, well, that's not quite what I mean. And then I kind of looked it up a different way, and I found that businesses will put up a sign near the front door or outside that says "E como mai," which is welcome or come on in. But anyway, I just decided I liked this better. My husband had already approved it. This is the word for pineapple in Hawaiian, kahiki. Kahiki. Sorry, I can't read backwards. And I used stitchfont.com to chart out the lettering, and I used one of her fonts. I think this is it called Denver? Oh shoot, I don't have the, I feel like it starts with a D. All right, I'll have to look it up and post it here, but I like the way her site works because it shows the center, so I didn't even have to worry about where the center was going to be. I just found the center of the chart and the center of how it graphed out, so that was perfect. And then she had a way to figure out how many spaces you want between the words. I liked it that it was kind of close. It fit perfectly, so I didn't want to add more space between the two words. And I liked how there's a break in both words. There actually was 2 breaks in the second word, but I connected them. And I added 1 stitch at the top of the K to make it look a little more like a capital K to match the H. But I really like it. And then I changed all the colors because my dye lots of the Weeks Dye Works did not match the original design, because this was from 2013, so that was 10 years ago. And I had to add a few stitches, I think, over here, because the way my threads worked out, it was really light and it looked unfinished. So I added a couple stitches to the bottom of that. But I'm really happy with this. So I'll look for either fabric to mount this on, maybe a check or plaid or something, or maybe I'll have Bonnie find a frame. So that's that, and that will end up going in my downstairs powder room, my guest bathroom, where I have a pineapple theme. So the walls are green, like a medium green. I did the same color green in my dining room, so we had paint left over, and I thought, oh, this is good. Green is good for like all the holidays and everything. So pineapple looks really good in there. That's what I have when it's not a holiday, is my pineapple decor. And my vintage stitch, took this right off the wall on my way out the door this morning. This is why I didn't want to say welcome on the other one, because I already had one that said welcome in English. But I just love how stylized this is. I can't remember if this was from a magazine, but since I can't think of the designer's name, I'm pretty sure that it probably was from a magazine. This was stitched a long time ago. I framed it myself, I can tell, because a custom framer doesn't usually use that. And I used to do some framing for the business. And then, so my other tip here is when you have a frame, like this was probably a ready-made 5x7 or 6x8, a ready-made frame. And when you don't have exactly the right frame, and it's going to cost more to custom order it, or maybe it's just going to take a lot longer. So I just use this because we sold this brand of frames in our shop. And so instead of centering it exactly, I lowered it just a little bit, because it's better to have extra space at the top so the whole design looks a little more grounded. So that's my other tip that came from an artist who gave me that advice years ago. So that's that. And then my other finish is Silver Creek Samplers Can Do Attitude. I still have some tails to wind under, but you'll remember that I had to make the decision on what I was going to stitch the 2023 in, and I did the first two in two colors, and one of them looked too close to the middle color, and one of them looked almost like the antique white fabric, but just a little off gray, and it looked like I tried to match the fabric and missed, you know. So I ended up just using a solid, well, they were all DMC. I just used a solid light blue, and I think I'm happy with it. And then I just grabbed one of the reds that I was already using for another project. And it looks kind of, you know, I didn't want it to be a bright red. I didn't want it to be pink. I wanted it to be a little countryish, so it went with my denim theme. And the original colors were like turquoisey and sea spray-ish, ocean-ish, whatever. And so I tried to keep the intensity of the colors true to Diane's original choices, but made them more my denim. So I'm really happy with the way that turned out. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. So that is all my stitching. And now I'm going to show you, I can get rid of that. I'm going to show you some fabric. And let's see. I did a little video of my light box, and I had this in the light box. So these are all from Needle and Flax, and I suggest that you go check out Rachel's FlossTube videos because they're very educational. She gives a lot of historical information, especially in the ones that she's doing about the First Ladies. So I really like her videos, and she's in Michigan. I'm trying to figure out how maybe we could do something together. Anyway, wouldn't that be fun? So this is 28 count Dolly Madison. And let's see, I think if I hold it back here, it looks pretty accurate. And I'm gonna try, if I have time tonight, I'm gonna try to take good photos in the light box. So that's Dolly Madison. And I just wanted to show you that on the front of the package, now you won't get this unless you buy a whole piece directly from her, because for us, we're gonna custom cut it or cut it into standard cuts, and there's only one of these. But she puts a whole label on the front with all the information about who it's named after. So that's, I mean, that's a really nice touch, isn't it? That's a lot of extra work and whatever. So let's see. This is Eastwick. So this is like a light brown, medium gray type situation. This would be really cool for something, for a reproduction sampler or something for Halloween. So it is called Eastwick for a reason, right? And then this is also a 32. This is Melville. I want to show you that it has some blotches of like a rusty tone, not too much, just enough to make it interesting. So it's kind of like it's a gray that's on the blue side. Then we're moving up to 36, and this is called Alcott. So it has, it's warm, it looks a little green in the picture. I don't think it looks that green in real life. And then another 36 is Steinbeck. So this is a neutral. You can tell it has a brown hue, but maybe a little bit on the grayish side. And I wanted to read you what she wrote about Steinbeck. American writer John Steinbeck, born in Salinas, California, won a Pulitzer Prize for his novel The Grapes of Wrath in 1940. This novel follows the Joad family during the Great Depression as they leave the Dust Bowl of Oklahoma, traveling to find work in California. Steinbeck wrote many books and often set them in his California including the 1937 novel of Mice and Men. This is the funny part. Did you know that Steinbeck's dog Toby ate his original manuscript of Mice and Men? And it took Steinbeck 2 months to rewrite Toby's snack. I just thought that was funny. And then there's usually like a quote from I think most of them have quotes. This says, "I wonder how many people I've looked at all my life and never seen." I thought that was something to think about. All right, and then the last one is 40, and this is called Fragile. So this, I think, is the lightest one in the bunch. Really pretty neutral. All of these would be perfect for samplers. And it's just really, it's great to have neutrals in your stash. So that's new fabric. Then we had 2 new colors from the Gentle Art, Habanero and Ohio Sky. And then we had some autos start. So this is Amy Brecken's Jingle. They're $10 each, and they will include whatever charms and buttons are neat. Let's see, I can show you this one because it doesn't show too much of the chart. And as a little surprise, she put a floss ring in there, but it comes with all the embellishments for each one. So that's what it looks like up close. We ordered more than we had signups for, so we can still sell these to somebody. They would be adorable ornaments or small pictures on their own if you don't want to do the whole piece, or you could do the whole thing for yourself and pick out individual ornaments to give as gifts. So that's Amy Brecken. Raindrop Kisses is the latest one. These are all post-market designs. So this is Primrose Cottage, $8. Quirky Quaker Frog, I've been trying to get for, I feel like it's been a couple months because it's always out of stock, and I got multiples of these. I just thought every stitcher needed to have this, even if they weren't going to do the whole series. It's just so cute. All right, Picking Posies Pouch from Homespun Elegance. Madame Chantilly had a couple, Bunny and Chicks. That is $12. This is $14.50. 2 designs, Carrots and Eggs. Spring Dance is $12. Look at the little egg cups. They're so cute. Spring Tour is $14.50. Pansy Patch has Betsy's Spring Basket. And Summer Garden at Cranberry Manor. What is that one? 13. All right, Stitching with the Housewives automatic came. In fact, we're going to get another automatic next week. Honeybee Garden. Let's Go Ride a Bike, Berry Patch. And the month-to-month, June. And Tra-La-La had tulip ornaments, 3 designs in there. And Spring Trio, 3 designs in there. Waxing Moon Designs had Summer Vibes for 10, all 3 designs. I don't think I showed you this before because it came after the other 2 re-releases. So this is Crowns and Shields, and on the front are the 3 projects that they took from the Antique Sampler. So I think this is really beautiful. It's $20. And then Most Humble Hands from Shakespeare's Peddler. And this is just a wealth of information and beautiful pictures. There's a lot of historical information. I'm going to try to not show the chart. So she has a lot of information, really good photos of the stitching, and, you know, something for you to read. And then she did a really good job with just the artwork. Anyway, it's a beautiful book. It's $36. And then, okay, pay attention. So Erin Elizabeth Designs, these are all, most of them are 8, one of them's 10. But if you would like one of these, then tell me if you've ever stitched an Erin Elizabeth and which one, or just say I've never stitched it, but just use Erin Elizabeth in your comment. And let's see, maybe if I turn these this way, they'll be easier. So be kind. I'm trying so hard not to stitch one of these right away. I'm trying to finish up some older things. This is B tier, but it's definitely, these B ones are definitely going on my list. Fresh Honey. She is one of my new favorite designers. Then we got some St. Patrick's Day, Irish-ish. Luck. Lucky. March 17th. And wee bit Irish. So just, actually, you don't have to use Erin Elizabeth's name necessarily. Well, yeah, just use her name, and then you can decide later which one you want. You don't have to tell me which one you want now. You can just use Erin, because if you've already stitched something, you'll be talking about that one. So we'll figure, whoever wins, we'll figure that out later. And then, I'm not done with her, sorry. Farm Fresh Strawberries. I also have a strawberry collection, so these are going to be on the list too. Strawberry Patch. And then Spring Collection 1, 2, and 3. All right, and then these are Shannon Christine, her little, does she have a name for these? It's her, I don't know, What's Cup. It's called What's Cup Spring Collection. So there's Happy Easter, Hip Hop, Kiss Me, Peep Peep, and Spring's Sprung. I probably missed a few along the way. I probably sold some and didn't have any left to show. I had to reorder the With Thy Needle because they all sold from the first shipment, so I'll show those maybe next time. But anyway, that gives you a little update of what's come since the Nashville market. And the winner of the last video, not the blooper reel, but the video before then, the winner of the Plaid All Year Happy Easter and her choice of 16 or 32 count fabric was Maureen Leonard, and I've already commented on her comment, and her comment for the video, you had to tell me what you were doing for Easter. She said, I'm going to my niece's for Easter. There will be 5 children aged 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. It will be a lot of fun. Yes, I'm sure it was, Maureen. We'd like to hear all about it. Okay, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you all, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. This is the really cool mini studio that I got as a surprise birthday present from my friend Heather G. I'm gonna turn it on so you can see what the fabric looks like with the light on. The inside of the 12 by 12 space is all silver, but it comes with various colors that you can use behind your object. These are the rest of the colors that were included. These are 2 reflectors, black and silver, and this is a diffuser, which I've played around a little bit with them, but mostly I'm just using these inserts. And they tuck inside that elastic strip up there so they don't fall over while you're trying to photograph. And then on the top, there's a little space that you can open up. There's a Velcro covering, and you can take it off and you can actually put your camera, position it on top to take the to take the picture straight down. It doesn't work quite as well for me. Sometimes I'd rather do an angle, so I usually do it from the front. But you can also turn the studio on its side or to the front so that you can have the, have the opening to the front. So I'm still playing around with it. And then you can increase or decrease the brightness of the light, which I'm also still playing with to make sure that I get the fabric color right. But it's so cool and it's so generous. I was really surprised. She also has an April birthday, so I know she was thinking of that. But we had her, I almost said surprise. It wasn't a surprise. We had her private birthday party here. It was mostly her family with a few close friends. And she was really excited to have it at the shop and share it with other creative people in her family. And she's very much aware of the technology issues and struggles that come with this kind of business because she is a journalist and editor. Let's see, she owns a creative custom media company with her husband, and she's editor-in-chief at North Coast Media. And so we've picked each other's brains about things to do with the industry. And she just knew that this would be perfect for me. I've taken a few successful photos and still have a ways to go. There's a learning curve, and sometimes it takes 3 or 4 pictures to get it right because I'll compare the final pictures to the actual fabric in real life and see which one comes closest to it, and then I just delete the other ones. But it was just such a surprise, and I was so, honored that she thought of me and that it, helps my business. So anyway, that's that. Thank you, Heather.